You are 14 the first time you sit in a cockpit. Not as a pilot, as a janitor. A dusty airstrip outside Sonora. One runway, one hangar, one crop duster that looks like it survived 3 wars and lost 2 of them, and somehow still smells like old socks. Your father feels planes there. Doesn't fly them, just feels them. He tells you flying is freedom. But you notice something. The men who actually own the planes never touch the fuel. They wear watches worth more than the plane itself, and probably use the plane to show off how expensive their watches are. You are 14, and you understand something simple. Freedom belongs to whoever owns the runway, not the one who sweeps it, or accidentally spills fuel on his sneakers. At 19, you get your license, not because he dreamed of the sky, because you're good at math and calm under pressure, and the sky doesn't ask about your last name. It also doesn't care about your laundry pile at home, which is a bonus. The first time they approach you, it's subtle. A man at a bar near the airstrip. He doesn't say cartel. He says private freight. He doesn't say drugs. He says agricultural product. He doesn't say risk. He says $40,000 per run. That's more than your father makes in 2 years breathing jet fuel fumes, which honestly should probably come of a hazard paycheck. You don't say yes. You ask one question. What happens if something goes wrong? He smiles the way men smile when the answer is obvious. Don't let it. You think, wow, that's reassuring, almost like don't spill your coffee on the floor. Your first night flight is at 2:13 a.m. No flight plan filed, no radio chatter, no lights. You take off in darkness so thick it feels physical. The desert below is just shadows stitched with the occasional highway. You wonder briefly if you left the stove on at home. You're told to stay low, 500 feet, sometimes lower. You feel the earth close enough to grab you. The cargo is sealed in vacuum-wrapped bricks behind your seat. You don't look at it. You look at your instruments. Altitude, speed, fuel. Because if you don't look at it, it's just weight. And weight is something planes are designed to carry, unlike your teenage backpack, which somehow always feels heavier than it should. You become good. Very good. You learn wind patterns over Arizona like they're neighborhood streets. You learn where radar coverage is thin. You learn that silence is a language. You learn the sky at night belongs to whoever is brave enough to claim it, or foolish enough. After 6 months, they stop calling you the kid. They call you ala, Spanish for wing. You like that. It sounds clean. Also, it's better than the caffeine-fueled kid who panics at spiders, which is what your coworkers call you at home. The money changes everything. Your mother moves out of the cinder block house. Your father stops working at the airstrip. You buy him a truck. He asks where the money comes from. You tell him freight contracts. He doesn't press, because deep down he knows. And knowing without asking is its own kind of agreement. Also, he enjoys the heated seats in silence. There are 12 pilots in your network. You meet only 4. Cartels don't encourage friendship. Friendship competes with business. Rafa is the oldest, former military, flies like he's arguing with gravity. Diego is younger than you, laughs too loud, takes unnecessary risks. Marta is the quiet one, surgical, never misses a drop point. And you, the one who never drinks before a flight, the one who checks the fuel twice, the one they send when the load is too important to lose. Also, the one who definitely Googles how to survive airstrip encounters at 2 a.m. You tell yourself you are a contractor, not a criminal. Contractors move goods. Governments decide which goods are illegal. You are just an airline without paperwork, like Amazon, but with more existential dread. Year 3. Diego disappears. No crash report, no wreckage found, no arrest record. Just gone. The sky doesn't return what it takes. You don't ask questions, because pilots who ask questions become answers, and you already have enough questions for one lifetime. Year 5. The cargo gets heavier. Not physically, psychologically. You see news reports, overdoses in Phoenix, fentanyl in high schools, a photo of a 17-year-old boy who looks like your younger cousin. You do the math for the first time. Each flight equals thousands of doses. Each dose equals a probability. You are not flying cargo. You are flying outcomes. The first time you consider quitting, it's over Nevada. Clear sky, full moon, smooth air. You realize you have enough money, enough to stop, enough to disappear. Also, enough to finally buy new sneakers that don't smell like fuel. But you also realize something else. You don't own the runway. You never did. You just borrowed it. And men who borrow runways don't decide when the contract ends. The contract decides. Year 7. Rafa gets intercepted. Not by radar, by betrayal. Someone talked. Federal agent sees his plane on landing. He's facing 25 years. They offer him a deal. Names for freedom. You wait for a call that never comes. He doesn't give you up, but 2 months later he's found dead in a holding facility. Heart failure. That's what the report says. You know better. Pilots die in the sky, not in cages. You start sleeping less. You hear phantom radar pings in your dreams. You see lights that aren't there. You begin checking mirrors when you drive. Your mother notices the weight in your face. She asks if you are tired. You say yes. You don't say of what. Also, you really should probably do laundry. The breaking point isn't law enforcement. It's your nephew. He's 10. He tells you he wants to be a pilot like you. Your sister smiles proudly. You feel something collapse inside your chest because he thinks you fly dreams, and you know you fly funerals. Your last flight is supposed to be routine. Short hop, desert strip to desert strip. Weather clear. But halfway through, you see it. A pair of lights behind you. Not commercial, not random. Too steady. Too patient. You don't panic. You've trained yourself not to. You descend lower. The earth close enough to grab you. The lights stay. You understand something. You were never invisible. You were tolerated. Until you weren't. You have 2 choices. Land and negotiate, or vanish. You bank hard west, kill your transponder, drop altitude below safe limits. The cargo shifts behind you. For the first time, you look at it. Just bricks, wrapped in plastic, worth millions, worth lives, worth prison. Also, not nearly as exciting as it sounded at 19. You pull a lever, emergency release. The load drops into the darkness. The plane lifts instantly, lighter. Cleaner. The lights hesitate, then turn away. The cargo was the priority, not you. You laugh not because it's funny, because you finally understand. You were never the asset. You were the vehicle, and vehicles are replaceable. You land on a private strip 40 miles off route. Burn the remaining fuel, walk away before sunrise. No goodbye calls, no explanations. Also, you finally grab a proper cup of coffee. You leave the country within a week. New name, new passport. Small coastal town in South America. You teach private flying lessons. Tourists, crop surveys, legitimate weight. At night, you still wake up at 2:13 a.m. Your body remembers. Your hands twitch like they're holding controls. The sky still calls. But it sounds different now. Quieter. Less like freedom, more like consequence. One evening, a student asks you why you stopped flying freight. You look at the ocean. You tell him something simple. The sky doesn't care what you carry, but you will. He nods like he understands. He doesn't. He's 19. He thinks flying is freedom. You don't correct him. Everyone deserves to believe that once. You were Allah, the wing, the ghost over the desert. You moved millions without leaving a receipt. You bought houses. You built a life on silence. And in the end, you learned something simple. It's not the crash that destroys you. It's the weight. And the heaviest cargo you ever carried was knowing exactly what was in the back seat. That wraps it up for today. The story you just heard is fiction, but somewhere right now, A young pilot is staring at a runway thinking freedom starts at takeoff. Maybe it does. But sometimes the price of flying is everything that happens after you land. If this one hit different, drop a comment and tell me which moment shifted for you. I've got more stories like this coming. See you in the next one.